What I want to talk about here is I want to talk about past lives. I want to talk about reincarnation. And as I was saying last, like I believe in reincarnation, and I believe like I think it's possible. Like how could it not be possible, even if you don't believe that it always happens or whatever? And I believe it, happens. A lot. Most of the people I know like are from a past, like personally, most of the people I know personally are from past lives of like me and my husband and other friends of ours and family members of ours and everybody. There's some people that I can't place and that my husband and other people close to us can't place, but we know that they're from somewhere in the past life, and other times like we just don't know who they were, and then others from past lives that we remember, but we don't know who they are now or if they're reincarnated as someone now. And then there's others that we know aren't reincarnated either yet or they won't be, um, because they're still like on the other side and all that, and like which is a very real and very solid, place where people are alive and aren't just dead or anything like that, because that's impossible. As Elizabeth Kubler-Ross says, like death does not exist and all that. And I know exactly what she means by that. It's not like some sort of contradiction or weird, non-scientific thing. For death to not exist, it's just electrification matter. And so yeah, so like maybe I'll just in this one talk about a few of the lives we had. Like me and my husband, like we were together in like every life we remember at least. Like I don't know how many we had, but I do remember ones that we had, and he remembered some of them first, and others were ones I remembered first. And there was one like in this biblical little town, Podunk, in the middle of nowhere in the like kind of desert, um, in biblical times. And our spirit guide, Father Raymond, he actually knew Jesus back then. He was like one. I don't know if he was a person who was like alive back then or not, like Father Raymond and who he was, if he was, but he knew Jesus. And and like he was like personally like acquainted with him. And then there was because you don't have to like not believe in Jesus or not believe he was doing certain stuff, like if he was if just because you believe in reincarnation. I mean, I don't know about the whole um like some stuff about Jesus, but I do believe that he had a near death experience, was crucified, was brought like went up to heaven, or went to heaven anyway. I don't know if it's up or what, but you know went there anyway, and was there for a while. And I mean, people get some people are like they had who had near death experiences. They die and then they're rotting, but yet they eventually do like spontaneously revive. Like people wake up in morgues in the 21st century, in like before COVID, when like before like during non like non world crisis, non war zone kind of situations, where it's just a normal and first world country in the 21st century, yet they're waking up in morgues because people they don't diagnose death as well as they should, or as they think they can. And other times they do diagnose the person dead and they really are dead, but then they just spontaneously revive because like they're sent, or they just come back to life because they have unfinished business or whatever, or they, choose it, or somebody, or they're made to come back or whatever. It depends on what their story is, what they tell us. And sometimes what they're saying, isn't always true, but most of the time it is, because like, um, well, not everybody's lying. Not everybody is a liar. Not every single person, and there's like millions of accounts probably of this kind of thing. And not just like waking up in the morgue bit, but I mean like the whole like near death experience bit, where people have out of body experiences when they're having some sort of near death experience or whatever. So like I believe that this happened to Jesus, and that he did like get resurrected after like 3 days, probably same thing. It was probably something like that, or maybe he was like thought to be dead but wasn't, or whatever. But it's not that I don't like believe that Jesus was resurrected. In other words, just because I believe in reincarnation. But anyway, back to the like we lived in this like biblical podunk. Me and like some friends of ours, we had this little inn, and we called it an inn back then. Not like in our own language, of course. I don't remember what it was, but we had this inn, and we just like it was just kind of like a inn slash group home slash squatters kind of place. But we actually like I don't know, owned the place, ran the place, whatever. I don't know, but it was a Like there was just a few rooms. It was just basically like a place where a bunch of friends like lived together, roommates kind of situation, but people could come through and stay with us in that. And Jesus did that 1 or 2 nights, when he passed through once. And a guy whom I think is reincarnated now as my friend Brian, he washed Jesus's feet in a metal bowl of water. And I remember that. And for some reason, I think it's Brian whom that guy that washed Jesus' feet was. And the rest of us, it was mostly guys. There was maybe one or two, three, four, 1 or 2 girls. Like I was one of them, and my husband was one of the guys, and others guys that we knew were like living there with us. And that there wasn't many of us, and it was like people. There was one person like sleeping in, I guess what you would call the living room today,